So as the Philadelphia Eagles continue to have a strong offseason, upgrading their defense, both the line and the secondary, and upgrading much-needed pass catchers, wide receivers with speed for Carson Wentz, we cannot forget about the two reliable sources on the team, and that's Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz. What is going on, everybody? If you don't already know, I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. If you are new to the channel and love talking Philly sports every single day, hit that subscribe button. Now, if you're excited for all this speed to get out there, but are not forgetting about the best tight end duo in the NFL and how this speed is not going to just help Carson Wentz, but it's going to get them one-on-one coverage, smash that like button. And oh, by the way, it helps this content and pushes it out to other Philly fans. With all that being said, before we get into today's topic, I got a little something to talk about. I talked about this 2 weeks ago in a video. Channel memberships are finally here. The first one is Philly Talk 24/7. You get loyalty badges, Eagles emojis to use in the live streams. You get things like the Super Bowl ring and Carson Wentz and things like that. You can play me on PS4, on Madden, or 2K, and the results go on the channel. Also, members only videos, members only live streams, and that's $4.99. The other one, Philly Talk Nation. All perks from Philly Talk 24/7, plus pick topics for some of my videos, shout outs, and be in the Philly Talk Podcast video or live stream. Appreciate y'all no matter what. Love y'all anyways. Thanks for listening to the Philly Talk Podcast. Now back to the best tight end duo in football, Ertz and Goedert. When you look at the Philadelphia Eagles offense in 2019, there's no surprise that our tight ends led the league in routes run, with 845 routes run, with 222 targets coming to Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert combined, with 146 of them being caught. But the main reason why we played 12-man personnel so much last year was because all the injuries we had at the wide receiver position. Nelson Agholor, Deshaun Jackson, Alshon Jeffrey. I mean, we had to dip into the practice squad to get guys like Greg Ward Jr., who proved his worth. Even Deontay Barnett and Rob Davis started to show things at the end of the season. And when you want to talk about more injuries, supposedly, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside was injured all year, but was able to somehow get on the field and not be 100%. Yeah. I do expect him to bounce back next year. It's a make or a break year for J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, but we'll talk about that in another video. The Philadelphia Eagles led the league in running 12-man personnel, doing it about 46.1% of the time. And also, we love to run the 11-man personnel, which we ran 40.3% of the time. So we were either in 12-man or 11-man, 86.4% of the time. The other 13.6%, we were in some 22s, 21s, 20s, 10s, 13s. We mixed and matched that. But for 86.4%, we were either in the 11-man or the 12-man. And the 12-man was still 6% more because we needed our best pass catchers to be out there. And that was Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz last year in 2019. When I look at 2020, I know it's going to be different. One, the injury bug just has to eventually leave us alone. We did get new medical staff, so that should help out. But after a couple years back to back of having this many injuries, it's time to just shoot, get away from us, and let us be a little bit healthy for 2020. And that alone is going to make the Philadelphia Eagles a problem. With that being said, these receivers around these tight ends are going to open up so much more for them because of the speed on the outside. When we had guys like Deontay Barnett or Rob Davis who can get down the field, but they weren't Deshaun Jackson, Jalen Reagor, Marquise Goodwin, and maybe even a guy like Quez Watkins or John Hightower. They just weren't, which let the defense focus in on the run game, the tight ends, and the short intermediate passes, which we had to kind of methodically get down the field because we couldn't take the top off. And we still had Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz eating one-on-one coverage, beating man, catching contested catches, and that's what we're going to need in 2020, but it should be easier for these two guys this year. When I look at D-Jax, although he can run the whole route tree and catch intermediate passes, we're going to use him to stretch the field. We're going to use Jalen Reagor in a multitude of ways, but he's going to stretch the field, go across the middle, do things like that, get the ball in his hand in space. Same with Ertz Goedert, and same with all these other guys. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside possibly could be our contested catch receiver if he amounts to that. But the guys who are going to move the chains, the guys who are going to have sure hands on third down, the guys who are going to go up and get it in the red zone to continue Carson Wentz's great red zone efficiency is Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz. This year, we're going to have firepower to play 4 wide receiver sets, 5 wide receiver sets, different sets, maybe being 11-man personnel more than a 12-man personnel. But the Philadelphia Eagles will not forget the 12-man personnel, and we still are going to run that heavy because then you have 2 reliable players who can beat one-on-one coverage, who can get contested catches, who can move the chain while you have your speed guys in Deshaun Jackson, a Jalen Reagor, a Ertz Goedert on the outside taking the top coverage off. And don't forget, breakout candidate Miles Sanders in the background. Like I said, this team is going to be versatile, fast, and strong on all aspects. I just want to get into what Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz was able to do last year as a tight end duo. Let's start with Zach Ertz.
To go. Eagles have to hurry it up here. Wentz going far side. Ertz one-handed.
135 targets, 88 receptions, 916 yards, 10.4 average, and 6 touchdowns. And he was 4th in the NFL for yards out of tight ends. Now let's go to my man Dallas Goedert.
Blitz coming. Wentz hanging in there. Lofts it for Goedert who makes it.
87 targets, 58 receptions, 607 yards, 10.5 average, and 5 touchdowns, which was 10th best in yards in the NFL. Man, Dallas Goedert is going to be something. He's already the 10th best tight end in the NFL when it comes to yards, with having to share the tight end spot with Zach Ertz, with really only being on the field when we play 12-man personnel, because when we get into that 11-man personnel, it's Zach Ertz on the field when we only throw 1 tight end out there. So that's why a lot of people say something about maybe it's Zach Ertz time. Listen, you see him on my wall. I love me some Zach Ertz. If it ever happens, it's going to be a business decision because they don't want to lose Dallas Goedert and he's a younger player. But you'll never hear me really just come out and say, let's get rid of Zach Ertz, because that is Carson's guy and he's old, reliable, and he's still got gas left in the tank. I got to see how all the contracts work out for 21 and 22, and we'll talk about that when we get there. But right now, we got the best tight end duo in the league. And although we ran 46.1% of 12-man personnel, it's going to come down because we're not going to be forced to do it. But I'm telling you, the 12-man personnel with D-Jax and Reagor on the outside is going to be deadly. Also, don't forget, like I said before, this Miles Sanders is not a rookie, not a shy back who likes to dance in the backfield. He's going to have that year behind him. And we saw how big he stepped up when Jordan Howard went out. And so he's starting to know, no more dancing, get through that hole. Do what I got to do. Make these plays. And that's the kind of Miles Sanders that I'm looking forward to seeing in 2020, along with this speed with these incredible tight ends. And I do want to see Dallas Goedert's role expand as long as Zach Ertz is getting his money too. And like I said, Dallas Goedert showing more and more and more can make the controversy for the Eagles think, what are we going to do with Zach Ertz for the long term? Because George Kittle does want to get paid wide receiver money. Who knows what Zach Ertz is going to want? Maybe he takes a friendly deal, not saying a cheap deal, but not top dollar, because we know we do have a problem going into the next couple seasons. But professional cap handler Howie Roseman will get us out of it, or at least try to fix it as best as he can. But we have to be prepared for all things. I do believe that Zach Ertz ain't going nowhere, but you never know. But I do want to see Dallas Goedert grow. I want him to stay with the team too, because we need youth on this team. Zach Ertz hasn't been an injury-prone player, but you never know what happens in the future. But right now, I'm happy to hold down the best tight end duo in the NFL. And like I said, our percentage might come down from 46 to maybe a 33, 32, but the 12-man personnel is going to be deadly. But don't get me wrong, I can't wait to see 4 or 5 wide receiver sets out there when you got D-Jax, Goodwin, Reagor, Hightower, Greg Ward, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, all these guys mixed in, whoever can make the team, obviously. But 5 wide receiver set, it'd be like we're playing Madden out there. But we won't. We'll be watching it. So, Like I said in my live stream, I believe this defense is going to do something special this year. But with Carson Wentz, these receivers, and these tight ends, and that back, so can our offense. So with all that being said, thank you guys for watching and all the constant support. Appreciate you guys 100%. Let me know in the comment section how dominant are these tight ends going to be with the speed around them. And let me know all your thoughts. Until next time, you know what time it is. We out.